We just saw Thor Love and Thunder. There's love, there's thunder. My biggest concern going into this was the love aspect, which we'll talk about in just 1 second, but I loved the thunder. What did you think about this movie?
I thought this movie started out a bit scrambled, a bit choppy, and it slowly started to find its own, and the third act was really, really strong, like thunder.
Indeed it was. But now let's talk about love, shall we? Going into this, my biggest reservation was Jane Foster, Natalie Portman playing the mighty Thor, the female version of Thor. And I will say, it's what you expect it to be. There's a few surprises. I like some of the emotional beats, and I think the story was needed to give Thor that emotional beat in this movie. So it wasn't as indulgent, or maybe, what's the word I'm looking for?
Vibrant?
No, not at all. But it wasn't as intrusive as I thought it would be.
Sure.
I think that was a lot of people's concerns. So yeah, finally Jane Foster had a purpose in a Thor movie.
I thought the humor was weaker than it needed to be, right?
Yeah, there were some don't get me wrong, there's some funny jokes in this movie, but it's just not as cohesive as far as the comedy, the tone, the story, as Ragnarok was. I just think that was the superior movie in every way, but maybe didn't have as many emotional beats as this movie.
Yeah, when they start to hit on that emotion and they give us what we need from Gore the God Butcher, especially some of these fight sequences where Taika is like all over with the color grading and the camera movements, I'm like, this is what I wanted out of this movie.
He's way better than the Dark Elves we got years ago. I will say that.
God.
My only complaint with Christian Bale as the villain in this film, which I just feel like he could have had more screen time to chew up the scenery. Give him time just to improvise and say things. Give him the Heath Ledger treatment of the Joker in The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Something like that. You know, I think that's what we need in an MCU movie, but nevertheless, he was a sufficient villain, and I liked more or less what they did with him.
It's a testament to his performance and really all of the supporting characters, the inclusion of Jane Foster in this way. It really makes this movie more of a romantic comedy in the MCU, right?
Or an epic slapstick movie at times, because the comedy goes so over the top, especially with Korg at one point towards the end of the movie. Can't wait to talk about that once everyone sees this. That will be an interesting topic of discussion. Also, most importantly, I want to talk about Chris Hemsworth's biceps in this film.
Oh, they're so big.
Okay, not only did his hammer and Stormbreaker actually have personalities of their own in this movie, they were almost like characters, secondary characters.
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth's biceps, at times I thought they were trying to like give a monologue performance, the way they were like twitching and moving. The vein in his bicep was talking to the vein of my bicep.
It's a lot. Can I touch it?
This one's bigger.
That's it. Yeah,
Don't ask
this was
why.
bigger. That's a large man on that screen. Thor is a good-looking dude. Let me tell you.
I think he was getting bulked up when he was going to shoot the Hulk Hogan biopic.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So it just kind of carried over. But like you said, the first half is the weaker part of this movie. Second half, it gets serious. It gets epic. There's a cool black and white sequence in this movie. Shut up!
Yeah.
We're trying to talk about Thor Love and Thunder. Well, there's the thunder.
That's the thunder.
Yeah.
Where's the love, John?
That happens after we're done recording, okay?
Yeah, it
we
does.
talked about this.
Well.
So anyway, guys, I think if you like Ragnarok, you'll like this. I just think that's the superior, more rewatchable movie in the future. But I'm curious to see where they go after this, because there's definitely going to be a fifth installment, which is crazy to say, 5 Thor movies.
So many Thor movies.
And it's also the shortest runtime of any MCU movie.
That's true.
So it's sort of speaking of that, it feels like they're missing like little segments in this movie to tie certain plot points together.
Yeah,
it feels like a little bit choppy and condensed.
Dare I say I needed more, maybe 15 minutes more to this film?
That I think you could use 5 more minutes of this. Sure, why not? But we'll just keep it there. No spoilers. There's more I want to talk about at a later date. So let me know what you guys think about the movie down below. Are you going to check it out? Of course you will. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good job.